What's going on? Welcome back to Musa Gaming here, and today I'm back with another weekly updates on my Max Level Newbie account weekly update series. And as you guys may or may not be able to notice, we had a lot of things that are about to happen as well as that has happened because I'm about to actually do some major upgrades on my account. So stick around as there will be some crazy stuff that will be happening throughout this video as well as things that happened over the past week. First things first, as you guys may or may not be able to see, I have resources now. I have 358 million resources as well, food, 385 million wood, and then 219 million stone, as well as 197 million gold. And you guys might be wondering, hey, like Musa, what's going on, man? I thought you ran out of resources, and I did. Last week around this time when I was recording this, I had 0 resources, and what happened was we had some deadweight zeroing that happened over the course of last week. I don't know if I have those reports. I don't have those reports anymore. And long story short, I gained those resources from zeroing deadweights, basically. And I was very efficient in farming their resources. And as you guys can see, yeah, now I'm no longer out of resources. So that was a big news. But let's just go ahead and start from the very beginning because this is how I start every single video, every single weekly updates video. For one thing, we're still VIP 15, 1.3 million VIP points, as well as 255 days into this account. We still need about 180,000 VIP points until I do hit VIP 16, where I'll be able to get some action point limit upgrade, as well as material production speed upgrade, and also action point recovery speed and some healing cost reduction and all that stuff. The VIP 16 is not the most exciting. VIP 17 is where it gets really exciting with that extra 5% all damage. But yeah, it's just something that you have to go through along the way at the end of the day. So yeah, just to give you a little bit of understanding of how old this account is, as well as where I'm at in terms of VIP points. I actually did not hit gem any VIP points ever since I hit VIP 14, so this is all growing organically. For those of you who are wondering if I gemmed any gems into VIP 15, VIP 16, VIP 17, no, I'm not doing that for this account. And the other thing is that, yeah, we have this new season has arrived banner that has happened, but then again, the new season time is actually within the next 6 weeks, so there's not going to be a whole lot of things to kind of talk about until that happens. So yeah, we're gonna try to make as much content as possible that we can when the off season during the off season. But then again, yeah, this is gonna be quite quiet weeks for the next 6 weeks because we're waiting for other kingdoms to finish their KVK too. So that's basically one other update. Aside from that, the main dish for today is the armaments. And I think the best way that I can kind of describe what happened over the past week in terms of armament is this, right? So last Tuesday, I sent Petrus a message. And this was after my last update video, I think, saying that, yo, I got some good good armaments. And as you guys can see, I have 2.5, 2.5, 3% focus fire armament that was just pulled out of a purple. That's right. I was able to get, excuse me, I was able to get a perfectly usable and perfectly fine armament that had the rare inscription Focus Fire just off of pulling a purple. So yeah, that was pretty darn big update, guys. That was pretty darn big update. And as you guys can see, my Chinchouang right now is currently using that armament right there. I mean, it's better than anything else that I had. It gives you 4% extra skill damage boost, which is amazing. And then 2.5% attack, 2.5% defense is way over what I would actually expect from this, just off the bat, right? So I'm using this, bottom line, I'm using this until I probably get a legendary inscription. This is amazing. But it didn't stop there, guys. It didn't stop there. If it stopped there, I wouldn't have even talked about this, guys. I wouldn't have even talked about this. And then I pulled another armament on Thursday on scroll slot that had 2% all damage, guys. 2% all damage. And for those of you who are not familiar with the scroll slot, the reason why scroll slot is really important is because, for one, this is probably the only inscription, special inscription that you're going to have as early game player, given that you won KVK2. Now, as a KVK2 victor, as part of a member of Kingdom 3879, I do have a special inscription choice chest right here, right? So, yeah, I can actually get Hunter slapped into that armament if I want to at this very moment with 2% all damage into it, right? And let's see. Yeah, if I go by all damage, yeah, I can basically make this into the hunter with the most amount of potential, because that's what you want, right? You want that all damage to start off your armaments with, and then have the hunter or whatever the scroll inscription that you want inscribed in there, and kind of work on the rest of the stats is what you want to do to make a perfect armament. That's what I did for my main accounts. All damage, 3.5% defense, 3.2% attack armament. That's what I'm planning on doing for this one. Now, the only reason why I haven't already inscribed Hunter on this is simple. Is because I think the Wedge 2.0 is just around the corner. And in case that we can actually transfer this to Wedge 2.0, and in case that this chest right here allows you to actually choose the Wedge 2.0 at the time that I, start fighting the next time, that's what I'm waiting for at the very moment. So, because that costs what, like 10 less conversion stones, and by all means, guys, you gotta save conversion stones whenever you can, right? Because at the end of the day, yeah, you have to pay like $10 per each conversion stones. Also, each of them also costs like 10,000 gems. It is insane how expensive the conversion stones are. So that's why I don't have Hunter inscribed here already, right? Because at the end of the day, you gotta be efficient, especially when you're on your restart account, right? And especially when you don't have fight for the next 6 weeks. So that's what I'm waiting for right now. I'm slow re-rolling this until I get better stats than 1.7%, as well as probably the attack here. I'll want something like closer to 2.5% or better before I actually start using them. So that is what my plan is. Right now, I'm kind of using the one that is usable at the moment, 1.6% all damage, 2.5% defense, 2.6% attack. I mean, it's not the best armament that you can find in the world, but it is something that can do the job, right? So it's triple stat with all damage. So yeah, I'm just patiently waiting until I have the rest of the stats rerolled. And for the Wedge 2.0, if it does come around the game, hopefully within the next couple weeks, right? So that's what I have. But crazy armament update with crazy upside potential for armaments at the end of the day. Yeah, that's what's been happening. Aside from that, I think I did some refining last couple. Yeah, I think I did refine the Dragon Breath to says. But it did give me 75 out of the 100 instead of critting right away, which I think is fine. Honestly, at the end of the day, like 75 out of 100, that means the next one I'll actually guarantee crit this, right? And I understand that it is better for you to actually get the iconics leveled up before you actually work on those crits, especially up to like iconic 2 at the very least. But the reason why I'm critting this is simple, is because it's actually content, right? For Rise of Kingdoms content creator, there's nothing better, no better content that I could think of. Especially when I'm actually streaming on daily basis, than trying to crit those equipments and all that stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So far, it's looking pretty good. My account, equipment side, I'm kind of a rip. Like, this is probably one of the unluckiest account when it gets to the equipment. Like, I had 1 out of 6 that I actually crafted that was never really credit. And also at the same time, this Dragon Breath bow took up 3 extra blueprints for me to get to 75, which was the unluckiest that you can ever get in an account ever, right? And I use by the way, refining also costs half of the materials too. That means I wasted so many materials just try to crit this, which is kind of insane. But aside from that, I do have very good luck in armaments, it looks like. So having a 2% hunter candidate is amazing. And also at the same time having this just pulled out of nowhere. That is basically done. That means I'm basically done until I have the legendary inscription for that slot. Is actually insane. So, yep. That was basically where I'm at with the commanders and stuff. In terms of troop count, because troop count is actually important, because I'm actually trying to build up at least a full T5 march for the field. Right now, I have 225,000 T5 archers trained up with 309,000 T4 archers ready to go. So that means throughout the next 6 weeks, I need to probably train about somewhere along the line of 200,000 to 300,000 T5 for me to consistently run with my Qin Shi Huang for KVK3, which I'm fine with at the end of the day, right? So yeah, right now I have enough to actually send out a full march without any expansion, but you always got to be ready for expansion, right? So yeah, that's what we can actually run. Aside from that, I am considering potentially. Where's the engineering commanders? Yeah, I'm considering potentially expertising Gonzalo in the upcoming streams throughout the next week, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna actually spin the wheel for Gonzalo in my opinion. I have him unlocked, but I think the spin the wheel should actually go towards more of the recently released commanders like Sons of Prime and all those commanders, So I don't think I should actually invest in any, spin the wheel tickets until I actually have the meta commander pairings for the other commanders. So yeah, most likely I'm gonna just go ahead and gold head Gonzalo throughout the next couple weeks, throughout the next week or so that I can have an expertise Gonzalo and Gaza. Right now, my Gaza setup is not really amazing. It's running on whatever it can. I haven't really crafted anything that is a purple siege gear as well, because I don't think it's really that efficient. And also, I'm not a siege main, right? I'm an archer main on this account, so crafting something like this one right here, which is nice triumphant possess, which gives you a lot of siege stats. I think it's not really worth it compared to the one that you can just practically get for free. With this one, right? It gives you 6% stats, but you can basically crit it guaranteed, right? So yeah, right now I'm just working on whatever I have with the siege, but most likely once I'm done with Qin Shi Huang setup in terms of all the armaments and stuff, at least have at least 2 more rare inscriptions. Right now I have 1 legendary guaranteed and 1 rare guaranteed, right? So I want to find the filler for this replacement for this one, as well as potentially get maybe better stats on this along the way, if it is at all possible. And once I'm done with that, this might actually be a good candidate too for the banner. But yeah, once I'm done with this archer setup, I'll most likely move on to siege, and then work on siege armaments while I'm waiting for Season of Conquest to come around, and then I can actually get the full siege gear for the siege march. And beyond that, most likely I'm gonna slowly prepare for either infantry or cavalry. At the end of the day, cavalry is a little bit more difficult because I didn't really get to unlock Achilles at this very moment. That means I need to most likely where I can get the Achilles is actually when I actually do go to the tavern, and then when I get the legendary tavern, the legendary key uploaded, and then I actually pulled for 200 legendary keys, and then that would actually allow me to get 10 sculptures of any commander of my choice. I think Achilles is actually in there. That's probably most likely how I'm going to get Achilles at this very moment. But I think right now, given that I personally think the cavalry is probably in the worst state that is possible compared to infantry and even archers for the first, for the small number of troops that you can actually have on the field, especially. I might actually do Sons of Prime going into my 3rd march, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. At the end of the day, Qin Shi Huang, I'm very, very satisfied with the way that it's been performing right now. yeah, and you know, Qin Shi Huang is Qin Shi Huang, right? It is literally the best commander that you can find in the game, and it is literally one of the best commander pairing that you can actually have run in the game, along with YSG. So expertise YSG is awesome. So that's what I'm running at the moment. But yeah, hopefully throughout the course of next couple weeks, I'll be able to finish my 2% all damage inscription. Let me just go ahead and get that. Yeah, throughout the next couple weeks, I'll be able to get that 2% all damage reroll finished. And maybe by then I'll be able to hear more about the Wedge 2.0 that's coming out. Most likely within the next few weeks. Hopefully before the first fight within our next KVK3. And then I can transfer everything over to Delta 2.0 without spending too many conversion stones. Right now, if I were to convert this one, I think it would cost me 3 conversion stones. And then maybe this one, or potentially anything that has all damage. Yeah, this one converted will take me 1 transmutation stone, and then I can actually reroll this once I have the inscriptions on there. Right? And then I don't think I'm going to carry over this one, so I need to find a better instrument armament for archers at the moment. And once I do that, most likely I'm going to go ahead and convert all of that over so that I can actually use a good set of Wedge 2.0 going into KVK 3. That's my current plan. Let's see how that goes, guys. Let's see how that goes. All right. But with that said, I hope you guys actually enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, guys. This is Kingdom 3879. Big shout out to Hokage for letting me create a lot of content on that zeroing, which was really, really good. I think a lot of people has enjoyed the live stream as well as the video. So that was really fun. Again, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, guys. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Peace!